in the Redneck Garage, out in the man cave, working on the Toyota pickup truck, the restoration. Feel like I haven't made a lot of progress. Most of the time I've been spending trying to find parts for this thing. It's not like a Jeep where you can just go on Amazon or go Morris 4x4. Finding some of the parts for this thing has been a very frustrating process on like a restoration. Now you can find every mechanical part, you know, known to man, like brakes and master cylinders, things like that. But for interior parts, I've been looking all over for a dang seat. A seat, just a core of a seat, because I found an upholstery shop to get it upholstered. But I want to go back to a bench seat, and haven't been able to find one that fits really the upholstery that I can find. So it's just been a huge mess. I've been trying to find that. I've been looking at paints, interior paints. If you can see that, this part is painted and this part's not, and this is color bond vinyl paint, and this stuff is the shizzle my nizzle, but that's not the right color. So I've got a couple other cans coming in of a different color. It's a little bit darker than what it should be, but man, that stuff makes it look super nice. What else I got going on? Oh, you'd think that mud flaps for a 4x4 Toyota would be easy to find. No, they're discontinued. You can't find them anywhere. There's one guy that has reproduction ones that are supposedly pretty sharp, look like the real deal, and 150 bucks for the four, two for the front and two for the back. And I went ahead and bought them because this one obviously is in bad shape. So let's take a look at the truck, and I'll tell you what the next steps are as far as what we're going to do to it. All right, the next steps are starting to take stuff off. I've been working on the bumper. Some of those bolts are a little bit rusty. Been looking at the interior, trying to find parts. I actually found a dashboard cover that goes over this, so we'll be taking all this out. I found a plate that goes over here with new buttons. The radio's going to be replaced. And these seats actually came out of an S10, and they're not even bolted in. That's as close as I ever got to it, and I hate them. So I'm trying to find the factory bench seat and put it back in, but who knows if I'm going to find one or not. It may take a while. Got to take off that. Been working on the frame. Haven't even pressure washed it yet, but I did wash it down with some soap and then a wire wheel with the Milwaukee grinder. And this is what it looks like, and what I'm using on that is the Eastwood Rust Encapsulator. This is the best stuff you can use. A little bit of surface rust. Once you scrub it off, it coats that rust, it gets rid of it, and then you can use a top coat on it. So that's where I'm at, is just going on little by little, and then it'll get top coated again. But the frame, after I washed it off, after being washed off is really, really good shape. This is just all surface rust here. Not bad at all. No holes, no nothing. So I'm super happy with that. I did decide on the exhaust. I'm just going to replace the exhaust pipe because the whole exhaust system, I couldn't even find it. I am going to go in and maybe do a little welding on it, but for the most part, it's not leaking. So I'm going to leave that alone. Just put a new tailpipe on it and let her rip, tater chip. The shocks are in good shape. They are actually still pretty good. Not worried about them. So that's where we're at. And I'm not going to do a fuel pump. The bolts aren't all frozen up. So if I have to drop the gas tank, it's a little gas tank, we're good to go. I've got my safety board holding the bed up. I've got just a little bit of dinging out here on this back. You don't really see this bottom valance, but it is dented in a little bit. Hopefully the bumper will be the correct one. Work on those lights, see if I can get those working. But the bed itself has very little rust on it, just in a couple little spots. So when you look here and you see where it's rusting out right along that edge, and you look on the inside, right there is that seam that causes it. So that's part I have to cut out and put the fiberglass. Same thing over here. It's actually a little bit worse. You can see right there where it's causing it to rust out, because there's nowhere for the water to go except for in between those seams, which is a terrible design. So that's what I'm working on now, is I'm going to brush this off. I may use undercoating on the bottom of this, but truthfully, it's in pretty good shape. Right down here I got just a little bit of surface rust. I'll be treating it on this bed. I'll be treating it with some Eastwood products after I get it cleaned off, and it should be just fine. So if you want to know something crazy, this is the chain that holds the spare tire up, and right here is the gear. And I sprayed just a little WD-40 in it, and it actually lowered down. After all these years, it's probably been 25 years maybe that this thing hasn't been lowered, and it still works. So so that's pretty much a testament to the Toyotas, I guess. Oh Lord, I'm getting a message A message from beyond. What's the deal, dear? Oh, okay. She's trying to tell me that the Predators are playing. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Huh? I need to come in and have a beer.
Go Preds!
Okay. All right, so I'm going to go in and have a beer, and then we're going to go back to the truck. Awesome. All right, I'm being summoned. Originally, this truck was used as a service vehicle for my locksmith business, and it did really great until I screwed it up doing a timing chain and left plastic in the thing. That's another story for another day, but I put a new motor in it because of my stupidity. Anyway, the seat and the tires and the wheels, we put 31s on this thing, and it was literally a sick turtle trying to go down the road with the 31s. But it looked cool. Didn't drive worth a dang. And so I went back down to 225s. But I do want to know what you think of the wheels and the tires, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'd love to get some suggestions or what your feedback is on that, because I'm trying to decide myself and I'm having a hard time going back and forth. These wheels are off of, I think, a 2004 or 5 Tacoma, and I probably could find some center caps for them, right? The front ones don't need center caps because it's, of course, a four-wheel drive with the manual hubs. But this is the spare tire that I took down, and this stinking thing's been under there since 1988. You believe that? And this was originally some of the steel wheels that they put on the Toyotas, which I think are just like super cool throwback looking things. And it's got the old Bridgestone Desert Dueler, which surprisingly looks similar to the Goodyears, with the exception of my brother janked it up and put the white walls to the outside instead of black walls. But do I leave these on and get a center cap, or do I go old school and try to find some steel wheels? That's my quandary. Help me out. All right, continue working on the truck. Been on the phone, on the internet, looking for the seat. Looks like this one. Still haven't found one. Found one in North Carolina, and he's like, I don't want to ship it. You know, we can't ship that. It's too expensive. I'm like, whatever, dude. So I'm still looking for a seat that I'm going to recover. But let's take a look at the inside of the truck. I did find one trouble spot. Woo. Seat belts, that kind of garbage, but I did find a trouble spot over on the other side. Let's take a look. Right in here, you can see that looks like water has sat in this one little section right here, and it's a little janky. So what I'll do with that is just wire brush it real good, treat it with rust proofing, and then I'll fiberglass the crap out of that. That would be way too much work to try to find a piece of metal to go in there. And this isn't that bad. So with something like this that's not really the floor pan, I'm just going to go ahead and clean it off, treat all the rust with some Eastwood products, get rid of that, and then we'll fiberglass all this in right in here, and I think we'll be fine. Trying to find pieces of metal to go in there or to replace the floor pan. Good luck with that. All right, so that's going to be it for today. The rust was not one of my favorite things to find, but then there's still questions to answer, like, okay, how did that get rusted? Where did the water come from? Could there be a leak somewhere? Yes, those questions will be answered in another video. But yes, there is a problem that we're going to have to address besides just the floor pan. So floor pan, figure out where it's coming from. Next video. Thanks for watching. Any questions, comments, suggestions, let me know what you think on the wheels and the tires and all that garbage. Give me your thoughts. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.